Well, I think when everything happened in August, I think all of us were just shocked when we saw all of the news articles and the news pieces about the Taliban takeover just completely decimating the city in terms of the way of life. And we were approached by a number of individuals that wanted help and to find their way out. They were under threat, and we also at the same time were finding that there are a number of other stakeholders involved. There was a professional vets practice that was trying to get their vets out of back to the UK, and we also found that there was a family of a retired Afghan army colonel and a British security services operative that was working in Kabul as well. So between all people in sort of a random, miraculous bunch of volunteers, we collectively decided that we couldn't just stand by and let it happen.
How did you deliver this Operation Magic Carpet?
So Op Magic Carpet came about by one of the contacts through another group. It was a Israeli translator had a contact, which was an American-Israeli guy called Moti Kahana, and he's conducted operations like this in the past from Syria as well. And we got in touch with him and raised funds to enable an evacuation of the 91 individuals. And the reason why it probably didn't come out in the press release, but we actually evacuated 91, but by the end of the evacuation there were 92. And that's because a baby girl was born halfway through it.
Extraordinary, and their lives would have been considerably at risk had they remained.
This is it, they were. And that was, I think, the reality of the situation that all of the people that we talk to, constantly say, look, it's quite risky getting involved in these sort of things, but we have to question what the risk of is not doing something, and that was definitely the case with us. These guys are messaging us on WhatsApp all the time, saying, "Is there any news? Please, we need to get out." And one of the hardest things is getting them out initially, and now a completely different operation starts, which is more based around promoting the fact that they're out and the fact that we can try and get them into a third country with pressure on politicians.
So anyone watching or listening to this interview and they want to get involved, how can they?
Oh, thanks, Ros. That's a really useful point to note, because too often I think these sort of things, people just think it's all about raising funds, and it is really important that we need to maintain these guys now in Pakistan whilst we can find them a third country. So whilst funding is very important and anything would be gratefully received, I think there's so many things that anyone can do to help. There are going to be 92 people, 30 of which are kids and babies, and they're going to be cooped up in Pakistan for a while. And what we could do is maybe look at, for instance, supply teachers that might want to do some Zoom English lessons on Zoom in their free time. That would be amazing and really valuable. It might be that a doctor in their spare time or a nurse might want to give some advice over the phone about niggles and things or concerns. Mental health practitioners maybe might want to get involved over Zoom. It's one of those side effects of the pandemic, and a silver lining is that we've got the ability now to have this remote working platform come to use in this really interesting way.